Welcome back to Quebeca and Aldo Scribante circuit for round 3 of the Extreme Festival. Up next, Global Touring Cars and the GTC SupaCup. What we've seen all season long in Global Touring Cars and GTC SupaCup is just incredible action, and more of the same expected here at round 3. It's the Volkswagen race day, but Toyota and Ford have dominated this championship so far. What are the two Volkswagen boys going to do here as we're into practice and qualifying for GTCs? Split qualifying there for GTCs and GTC SupaCup gives these drivers an opportunity not to be hindered by the GTC SupaCup drivers. And watch out for Rackstraw as he tries to take on the front end and bring the Audi into play. Checkered flag comes out, and it's Robert Volk who's put it onto pole position again. He's a dominant factor here, but Brad Liebenberg has given him a good run for his money. You can see just how tight it is there. 1/10 of a second. Saud Variawa and Daniel Rowe, Julian van der Vat and Nakani are your front row. Let's catch up now with Robert Volk.
Yeah, it's always great to have pole on this track. Inside line into turn 1, it's the best place to be. Obviously, we've had good race pace as well, so I think we're nice consistent throughout that quali run. So looking forward to the race itself, and try obviously convert this one and see what we can do in the reverse grid, but a lot to play for, so hopefully we can get a good start.
Time to get out the SupaCup category cars, and it's also just as tight in this championship with a couple of contenders looking to take on the front end of the field. Campos brothers certainly looking to make it the front row if they can and lock it out. But Jeff Kruger's going to give them a very good run for their money. And keep an eye out on, of course, Damien Hammond joining the circuits for the very first time there in the Trinity Protection Services car. He'll definitely be looking for a chance to show the prowess that he's got in the Lamborghini, now in the GTC SupaCup. It is poleman Jeff Kruger, though, who beats out Jason Campos, Leighton Ferree and Keegan Campos, with Keegan Masters, Arnie Neville and JP van der Walt and Donnie van Niekerk. They're just ahead of the Masters category, who is led out by Roy Campos, with Honor Versodenhout and Nick Davidson right behind him on the grid. Let's catch up now with our poleman in GTC SupaCup, Jeff Kruger.
We did the best we could do to prepare for qualifying, and it seemed to pay off, so I'm exceptionally happy to be on the front row and more or less in pole. So no, the race is going to be exceptionally tight as well. Can't make any mistake here, and the 12 lappers, so it's going to be quite demanding on the car, especially the tyres. We've seen that they do tend to get a bit hard towards the end, so we're going to have to try and manage that a bit. But yeah, exceptionally happy. Big thank you to Bourbon Highway for coming on board with me, and to Universal Care for all the support. Hopefully we can reward them with a good result there in race 1.
Big thanks to ATS and the Dunlop guys for the support as well, getting those tyres on. Fresh rubber for the race. Everybody on the grid now excited about the fact that they're about to go to battle for the 3rd time this season. It's race number 5 of 6, and there's 2 of them to come today. And it's Robert Volk who gets the ATS 2,500 Rand from Dunlop for his pole position in GTCs. Jeff Kruger will get the same thing down in GTC SupaCup, and the 2,500 Rand heading towards Team Red Racing's number 1 man in this category. The championship, though, remember in GTC SupaCup, is led out by Leighton Ferree. He's starting from 4th place. What can he do now in the start of race number 1? Green flag waving to get these cars on the way for the warm-up lap. Robert Volk will dictate the pace. Brad Liebenberg will be looking to pounce in the Hype Energy and Team Red Racing Golf GTI. Watch out for Variawa, who's had a phenomenal weekend so far, alongside Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe has found some pace, as I said, in that Volkswagen GTI 8. Can he do anything about the front end? Front end of GTC SupaCup are these two. Jeff Kruger alongside the man we're on board with here, Jason Campos. As they come into Dunlop corner, the GTCs are ready to go. It's a small gap, as you can see, being held there by Jeff Kruger for the 2nd start of GTC SupaCup. But the lights are on. We're about to go racing, and Robert Volk gets the drop. He's trying to go side by side there with the Hype Energy GTI, and it is absolutely nothing in it. Saud Variawa tucked in behind there. You can see from the aerial shot heading into turn number 1. Volk hangs on for the whole shot. Look at this. It's Jeff Kruger in GTC SupaCup. Jason Campos and his brother right on his tail, Keegan. And then it's Leighton Ferree in 4th place. In the middle of that pack as well. There's a big battle starting to rage in GTC SupaCup. Further back in the GTCs as we go out of the hairpin and up towards, or down towards Chevy for the first time. Michael van Rooyen not quite getting the start he wanted. He's got Rackstraw ahead of him, and he's having to fend off Ndakani and Mahotsi behind him. So at the front end of GTC SupaCup, it's Jeff Kruger, Campos, followed very closely by Leighton Ferree. Then it's Keegan Masters tucked in there. And look at that start from JP van der Walt. JP van der Walt being hounded at the moment there by Arnie Neville. Arnie Neville trying to find a way past in the Paget Racing and Stradale Motorsport machine. Then Donnie van Niekerk, the Titan Stunts car from Cape Town, is up into about 8th spot on the track. That's brilliant stuff from him. We look back and see, is it Roy Campos? Yes, it is. Roy Campos at this stage leading things out in the Masters and fending off the intentions coming from both Andre Versodenhout and from Nick Davidson. Nick Davidson, of course, local man here. And he's got the Hammond boys just tucked in between himself and Campos. So looks like a bit of work there to do for Andre Versodenhout and the second of the Masters category cars in the Team Perfect Circle machine. At the front end though, look at this. Oh, big drift there from Mahotsi. Brilliant shot there from our camera guys to pick that one up. That was Daniel Rowe's teammate coming out of the hairpin, lighting those Dunlop tyres up. As we've seen, trying to get as much traction out of them is his teammate here, Daniel Rowe, closing down on Variawa. We spoke to Daniel Rowe just before the race, and he was saying, just battling with the top end speed of the GTIs, but the handling is fantastic. And you can see he's putting into good practice now as Daniel Rowe tries to hunt down Variawa and possibilities of a podium. Another aerial shot here of GTC SupaCup heading into Chevy. Out of the Chevy sweep and up towards the top. You can see just how tight it is amongst those SupaCup competitors. Absolutely amazing to see that. This is Masters closing down onto the back of that front pack, and he's got his eyes firmly set on Leighton Fourie. Fourie definitely in with a shot here. You can see the lights starting to flicker there on Keegan Campos' car as he goes for a push to pass, and he's now got ahead and looking to try and close things down on Jeff. Jason Campos dropping back ever so slightly into the clutches of Keegan, so a bit of a fight on here for GTC SupaCup. Second group of SupaCup category cars heading down there, and you can see also Poseidon losing out there to Nick Davidson. He's dropped back slightly there for Team Perfect Circle. His teammate Masters almost in the front end and close to that top 5 fight. Another lap completed. Kruger leads things out over the two Campos boys. It's Masters though who was quickest on that last pass, and he's closed down on Leighton Fourie. Leighton Fourie now trying to look for a chance to get ahead of Keegan Campos. The Paget car has snuck through ahead of JP van der Walt, so Arnie Neveling stuck in no man's land between those two big packs of GTC SuperCup competitors. Oh, what a problem! A big slide off there and a massive moment there for Diaz. Calvin Diaz having a problem and unfortunately sliding off coming out of turn number 1. I'm not quite sure what went wrong there, but he just got it ever so slightly wrong on the brakes into turn 1 and slid onto the kiddie litter. This is what Campos' point of view is through Hanger, heading up towards to try and close down on Jeff Kruger. Kruger late on the brakes, keeps him out into the hairpin. And Team Red Racing's number 1 man in this category at this stage is hanging on to the lead. The championship leader though is sitting down there in 4th place with Leighton Fourie having to try and find a way through here on both the Campos boys. Haven't found it just yet. There for Team Red Racing and Express Hire. Behind him, Masters looking to pick up any pieces that could possibly go wrong. Further up the field, nice little aerial shot here of the S's. Don't normally get to see this on many occasions, but it's great to see this little drone shot showing us what Global Touring Cars looks like in full flight through the Schaeffler S's. Heading now, Robert Volk has just absolutely dominated. There's no answer to the chemical logistics man today. He got it on pole position and he's been a dominant factor all weekend. Saurat Variawa is up into 2nd place and looks like it's Brad Liebenberg into 3rd. This is Leighton Fourie's point of view. Listen to those tyres squealing as he goes out of turn 1, heading into the Schaeffler S's, trying to get back again at the two Campos boys ahead of him. Just fighting it ever so slightly there as they come out, now heading through Hanger. And they're hanging it out through Hanger. There's no doubt about it, giving everything they can. Keeping out Campos. Arnie Niveling is closing in there on Masters. So Masters in with a shot as well. This is Donnie van Niekerk fighting with JP van der Walt. Nice battle between these two. Actually great to see that raging in that mid-pack of the GTC SuperCup category. There's a bit of a change-up closing in on the back end of the GTC SuperCup category cars now. Hammond has been caught and passed by Volk. Is Variawa going to be able to capitalize on this and hopefully be able to get through, use some of these back markers to his advantage? He has definitely closed that gap down on Volk because of the back markers. But Volk, I think, has got enough time in hand here and possibly just enough kilometers on the circuit to keep out the hard charge coming from Saud. The youngest competitor in Global Touring Cars, and he's into 2nd place, putting the multiple champion under big pressure there. It's closing stages time, and I don't think he's got enough time, unfortunately, to get the checkered flag, but it's going to be a great 2nd place there for Team Gazoo Racing and Saurat Variawa. Following home, Robert Volk, after a fantastic day in the saddle so far for him. GTC top 3, Volk, Variawa, Rowe, and then it was Kruger beating out Campos and Campos for the top 3 in the SuperCup class.
Towards the end, obviously, we've got a lot of traffic, worse places as well. Turn 1, S's, up at the sweep. Everybody's having their own DAS, so we lost, I think, 3 seconds in the end, but thankfully not too many laps left. Car felt good, all credit to the team, and Ian Schofield and Chemical Logistics for the great week so far.
Brilliant drive from Jeff Kruger for race 1 win.
Great race. It was quite hot out there, so I think to manage the tyres to get it home towards the end was quite crucial. Luckily my car was on rails, I can't complain. The team did an amazing job, so thank you to Universal Healthcare, my dad and everyone for all the support. So reverse grid now for race 2 will be exceptionally challenging. We saw now it's incredibly hard to pass here. Just by following other cars you start to raise the temperatures a little bit, so we're going to have to try and see what we can do for race 2, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Straight into race 2 now, and it's the inverted grid putting a different front row together there. Michael van Rooyen alongside Andrew Rackstraw. Brad Liebenberg tucked in behind that, and then of course it's going to be Daniel Rowe looking to push hard to come through there. Hopefully give Volkswagen some kind of a podium here in their home race. It's the Volkswagen race day, and Global Touring Cars head down towards turn 1. It's going to be Michael van Rooyen looking to try and take on the front pack and get the whole shot. Looks like he's done that. Daniel Rowe now with a bit of pressure coming from the Toyota there. And looks like that's Robert Volk starting to put that pressure on right from the word go. Which in the background, Julian van der Walt is the man we keep an eye on the Ford as well. He's always very good on an inverted grid. Hasn't quite worked out for him at this point in time. GTC SupaCup on board with Jason Campos. Alongside him is Jeff Kruger. Keegan just ahead there. See Keegan Masters putting the pressure onto the pole man. Pole man being Leighton Fourie, and look at Ari Neveling into the mix there as well. Look at Jeff Kruger changing up his mind as they go into turn 1. Oh, and Roy Campos off the circuit. Roy Campos running a little bit wide off track and eventually slots back in, but he's got a nice bit of mountain to climb now. There's not a mountain in PE, but he's going to have to climb it now to get through ahead of all of those Super Cup competitors. This is what it looks like from Van der Wat's point of view going through into the hairpin. Have a look at the action that's starting to heat up there. It's Leighton Fourie with Arnie Neveling on his tail. He goes defensive to keep out Arnie. And you can see an attack coming from Jay. Jason Campos has got through on his brother. Keegan's dropped back ever so slightly into the clutches there of Van Niekerk and Van der Walt. As they come out of the hairpin, Jeff Kruger's up to 4th. He's got Campos on his tail, and here comes Van der Walt on the inside of Masters. Masters not quite getting the start he wanted in the second of the Team Perfect Circle machines. So he's got some work to do there as Keegan Masters, but it's now all about what was the protege and the master in terms of karting fraternities at RKT, and that was, of course, this is the battle that we would have seen and hoping to see here in this category for sure, between Leighton Fourie and Arnie Neveling. Neveling now from Stradale Motorsport, all over the back end there of Leighton Fourie from Team Red Racing, back to the front of Global Touring Cars as they come out of the S's. Rackstraw keeps out Rowe for now, and look at the pressure being applied there on the back end of Daniel Rowe. And pressure coming from Robert Volk as they head up towards the hairpin. Volk putting the pressure onto the back end of Rowe. Rowe's teammate Machotzi putting the pressure onto Rackstraw. And look at the pressure coming from Van der Walt as well. As they come out of the hairpin there, Variawa in 3rd place. He's comfortable at the moment. He's not having to worry about anybody at this stage because Rowe is fending off the intentions being shown there by the InvestChem Chemical Logistics Toyota Corolla by Robert Volk. Race 1 winner. Will he get another victory here in the second heat? We'll have to wait and see. He's closed up onto the back end of Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe wants to keep him out. Rowe wants to get at least a podium finish here for the Volkswagen team at their home Extreme Festival. Across the line now, and we got double wave yellows. That's because Campos has gone off. Oh, look at that. Roy Campos off at hanger. That's a big moment there for Roy Campos. Safety car has been deployed, and Roy Campos had a big moment coming out there. You don't want to be going through hanger sweep in a Global Touring Car Super Cup Polo GTI, probably close to 170 k's an hour through that right-hander, and it just went straight, and he ended up crashing into the tyre barrier, fortunately. But Roy Campos has brought out the safety car. He gets his car out of harm's way, and we're going to the restart now for GTCs. Green flag's about to wave, and Michael van Rooyen has got pressure being shown by the hype car and by Variawa, his teammate. Look out for Daniel Rowe trying to catch out all those Toyotas in front of him and the other GTI 8 of Brad Liebenberg. As we go to green flags again, it is Michael van Rooyen keeping out the attack coming from behind. In the background, the GTC Super Cup has also just crossed the line to start their restart of the second heat. Big move here from Van der Walt trying to squeeze on the inside of Machotzi. Machotzi sees him coming. We're on board with Machotzi's teammate Daniel Rowe as they go through the second part of the S's. Taking onto the back end of Variawa's car. Look at Brad Liebenberg all over back of Michael van Rooyen just up ahead there. Looking in the rearview mirror there, Daniel Rowe knows he's under pressure. He's got Volk right on his tail. Who's going to have what it takes here on the brakes down into the hairpin? Straight across that GTC field and onto the brakes it is Brad Liebenberg, who slots into second place, hangs on to that second place ahead of Variawa. Variawa had a good little look up the inside but wasn't quite close enough. Daniel Rowe trying to wait for something to go wrong with the cars just ahead of him. He's also just waiting and biding his time. And fortunately now his teammate is putting a little bit more pressure onto Machotzi. That concertina effect has definitely closed this field up and giving everyone a chance now and a shot at the checkered flag and the win. So if something goes wrong with any of these cars, it's going to be absolute nightmarish for these teams. They are so evenly matched. Look at that. It's just a steam train of Global Touring Cars heading down towards turn 1. Little step out there from the caboose. It was Brad Liebenberg in the Hype Energy machine looking for a way to dive through. Not close enough though. Exceptionally difficult to overtake here. We've heard from all the drivers all weekend long. Leighton Fourie leads things out and we're on board with him going into turn 1. This is Global Touring Cars Super Cup and they are doing an absolutely amazing job to try and close him down. At the back end of the field, you can see some fights starting to happen there as well as the Hammond boys get into the mix. And a little bit higher up there for one of the Hammond boys, as you can see, Damien starting to make his way and Nathan as well. So the two Hammond boys in the Trinity Security Services cars also putting the pressure onto that mid-pack. Look at how they're starting to weave through these corners. The Dunlop tyres crying out here. Leader's got a little bit of an advantage now, and Leighton Free hangs on. The battle is for second, and Campos is applying huge pressure onto the back end of Arnie Neverling. The Paget Racing Stradale car under big pressure there from the Campos and turn one machine. Nice return to the front end of the field as well for Calvin Diaz after his off-track excursions earlier on. Nick Davidson looking for a chance now. Could he possibly take the victory here? I think he's got a chance of taking the victory in the Masters. He's ahead of Besaidnout, and with Campos being up off the circuit, it could be a home victory here for Nick Davidson, for the Stu Davidson Sons team. Here's a bit of a maneuver. Saud Variawa on Brad Liebenberg. Who would have thought that? Brad Liebenberg just no answer to the Team Gazoo Racing cars out front. And this is to the closing stages. What a maneuver there from Saud Variawa. Has he timed this to perfection? It looks like he has. Saud Variawa up ahead of Brad Liebenberg. These two have not raced against each other in any other format other than global touring cars, and the youngster is showing the man who could be king here a way through. Coming to the line, it is Saud Variawa behind Michael van Rooyen. Gazoo Racing 1 and 2. Liebenberg finishes up in third place ahead of Robert Volk and Daniel Rowe. It's Leighton Free who wins up the SupaCup class ahead of Arnie Neverling and Campos.
Took from Friday morning till now, but it's rather now than never. So, but a very tough race, very hard race, but all fair, and it was actually very nice. I enjoyed it. And congrats to my teammate for coming in second. He gave me a breather on that last lap. I was very grateful for that, and first 1-2 for the team.
Flag to flag there for Leighton Free for Team Red Racing in GTC SupaCup as well, as he comes across the line to take the victory. He hangs on to the championship lead as well.
I mean, after the race one problems that we had with the car, the balance was all over the place, but we worked hard between the races and got the balance sorted, and yeah, fastest lap and a race win for race 2, so can't complain, and maximum points for race 2, and that's all that we're aiming for.
Now into the podium ceremonies there for Global Touring Cars. Saud Variawa getting the overall victory. Jeff Kruger takes the overall victory in the SupaCup class, and it's Nick Davidson with a home victory overall in the Masters. Championship points, Robert Volk ahead of Saud Variawa, Daniel Rowe and Michael van Rooyen. Julian van der Walt trying to close things down. Leighton Free hangs on to that championship lead ahead of his teammate Jeff Kruger. Then it's Masters and Campos. The next round is at Red Star Raceway on the 2nd of July 2022. We'll see you in Delmas. And this show is dedicated to the memory of Roger van Schalkwyk and Floyd Sapinyu, who will be sorely missed by the motorsport fraternity. All this extreme festival action is proudly brought to you by Comcare Medical Scheme, Dunlop Tyres, Ferodo, the #1 in brakes, and Investchem.